Hi there, Malcolm here with my 178th Booktube video, and today I'll be talking about Wastelanders Star-Lord by Sarah Cawkwell. And this is adapted from the scripted podcast by Benjamin Percy. It was my book of the month for November. I haven't done very many individual videos lately for books of the month, partly because I couldn't be bothered, but partly because they're sort of books 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. of a series, and they're so full of spoilers, you can't really talk about them easily. Anyway, this one is a first of a series, so I can talk about it. Yay! I haven't heard the podcast, I haven't read the graphic novels. There's quite a lot of media tied into the Wastelander series, apparently. All I've got is the book, right here, and I've seen the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy films, which I absolutely love. And in this one, Star-Lord and Rocket are quite a lot older, a bit more cantankerous, and they're the last 2 surviving Guardians of the Galaxy. They get given a mission to go to Earth to get a MacGuffin, to find Earth, or the part of Earth they land in is a wasteland run by Dr. Doom, and that 99% of all the superheroes have been wiped out. And these 2 idiots go on an adventure with an alien recorder bot that they pick up on their travels. It's chronicled at the beginning of the story. And so there's lots of time jumps as they tell this robot what's happened so far, sort of thing. And indeed, when the story starts on the spaceship fighting off the swarm creatures, they find this robot, and then we have the story about how they came to be there in the first place and accepting the mission. And of course, once they get to the wasteland, they split up, reconvene, and of course, in its case of what happened with you. And so we have a catch up from different points of view. So we do time jump a little bit from different perspectives, which I thought was a really interesting way of telling the story. And for the most part, I really enjoyed this. Star-Lord and Rocket are true to form. If you've only seen them on screen in the Guardians of the Galaxy films, they could pass as an older Peter Quill, played by Chris Pratt, and an elderly Rocket, played by Bradley Cooper. The characters do feel very similar to those. They are the best of friends, but then neither are willing to let the other one really know. Peter's got the blind optimism still, and Rocket just hates everything. They do bump into some other popular Marvel characters while on the Wastelands. The powerful telepath, the White Queen, a character I really don't know much about, and an incredibly vicious Kraven the Hunter, another character I don't know too much about. And his inclusion does add to the big split I have about this book, because on the one hand you have Star-Lord and Rocket as they Forrest Gump their way through their adventure. There's a hilarious scene when Peter Quill attempts to rescue somebody from Kraven's clutches and fails hilariously, shortly followed by Kraven catching the person, and a very visceral death scene which felt very tonally different. And in fact there is a lot of quite dark, bloody, harrowing scenes in this, which alongside the Guardians' quips and jokes and mishaps does feel very mismatched. How it does play out like a standard Marvel story. Our heroes come across the big bad, they have their ups, they have their downs, they team up with other unexpected characters, their sacrifices, their successes, their losses, and of course a big confrontation at the end. Now I don't want to give too much away about the confrontation, but there is an inevitable trope that happens with the sacrifice. You see it coming a mile off. The moment something happens early on in the story, you think, oh, yeah, that's going to be a thing. Yes, it was. So that's a little bit disappointing that they went down that traditional line, but there you go. My other big gripe is this ends not so much on a cliffhanger, but it doesn't really end. There is certainly more in this story to be told. There's certainly more going on, and I think, as far as I'm aware, the podcast has at least 5 episodes where we follow, I think, Wolverine, Hawkeye, Black Widow, and Dr. Doom himself. I did a little bit of research about the series and actually quite impressed by the voice casting they've got for it. However, if I wanted to read them, I can't, because as far as I'm aware, this is the only existing written material in novel form. So that, like I said at the beginning, there are, I think, some graphic novels of the series, but I want to read the novels. This is the only one. There may be more coming along, but after some Googling, I couldn't find any mention of book 2 coming out, or even a timescale for the rest of the series to make an appearance. So yeah, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little bit mismatched tonally in places, particularly anything to do with Kraven the Hunter and the plight of the people that they encounter. It's only the second Marvel novel I've read. Deadpool Pause, I was the first one. I really enjoyed that one. I would say 2 out of 2 so far. Buy it. So there you go, that's my review for Marvel Wastelanders Star-Lord. Have you read it? Have you listened to the podcast? Have you read the graphic novels? Does any of that interest you or not? Or have you read any other Marvel novels? Let me know in the comments down below. As usual, if you have nothing nice to say, then please keep it to yourself. Thank you, and until next time, see you later.